Good morning, Southwest Florida. Welcome to another edition of Lead Pits Live. We're here at Regions Bank on Tamiami Trail in Fort Myers. The accommodations here have just been outstanding from one of America's great banks. So thrilled to bring you some wonderful shows here on television and on radio, 90.5 FM, the Lead Pits Live radio show, and of course on Wink CW Channel 6. Fabulous guest lineup. Get a chance to talk to Trish Routte. She's the Crime Stoppers Coordinator for Southwest Florida. Also, Michelle Hilton Terry, the Executive Director for the Community Redevelopment Agency for the City of Fort Myers, will be here with hashtag Redevelopment Works. And we'll get a chance to talk to Amy Shink, the Outreach Lead Coordinator for Neuropsychiatric Research. All that's happening on Lead Pits Live. Keep it locked. All right, Southwest Florida, welcome to Lead Pits Live. We're so pleased to have her join us here today. I'm going to see if you can make that lean in, Trish, and sit your back down. Trish, a veteran Crime Stoppers expert. How does that sound?
It sounds great.
Trish, I say veteran because you've seen a lot and you've been through a lot of different administrations of law enforcement chiefs and sheriffs throughout Southwest Florida over a long period of time. But the mission still stays focused on the same, right?
Absolutely. Nothing has changed. You know, the face has changed over time, but the goal is still the same. Working with the community to get in those anonymous tips to help solve crimes because, you know, face it, law enforcement ideally could be on every street corner 24/7, but that's not real. That just can't happen. So that's why we need the community to step up, to share the information that they have, that they're seeing, that they're hearing about crimes and wanted people, and provide that to us, all completely anonymous.
We know it's anonymous now. But that's so important because when people know that nobody's going to know if they helping society move on to be a better and safer society, that they can do that and there won't be any repercussions towards them. Talk about that in more details, how you keep their name and their face and their images anonymous, meaning nobody knows who they are if they give you a quality tip.
Yeah, keeping people anonymous is the number one issue for us. And we do it every single time. In 41 years, I haven't been around the full 41, but for the 41 years that Crime Stoppers has been around, not once has the name of a tipster ever been known. So we know that there are people that are seeing things happen. Crime's happening everywhere in our community. People are seeing it, but they don't want to necessarily get involved. So they don't want to be seen talking to a law enforcement officer. They don't want to have to go to court and give depositions and all that good stuff. They don't want to be seen as the snitch. So, but we know that they have information. With Crime Stoppers, they can reach out to us on the hotline, on the app, or on our website. Provide that information that they have firsthand, that they've heard secondhand, and then we immediately take that information. We send it along to the appropriate law enforcement agency, whether it's the sheriff's office, the city police department, FBI, DEA, whoever the agency is. If that tip leads to an arrest, then we end up paying that tipster out in cash. Now, when you provide a tip, you're given a code number. It's just a series of numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the only way that we know our tipsters from beginning to end. So we don't ask for any identifying information. We don't even take down if the caller's a he or a she. If they utter out what their name is, we don't take that information.
Right, and that would hurt the whole program if that information got out. The people are listening to you on radio. They see your contact information on the screen on the television format. Give that verbally.
It's the hotline number is 1-800-780-TIPS. The website is www.southwestfloridacrimestoppers.com, and the P3 Tips app is where you can download that app and provide information. Every single format, no matter which way you choose, you're going to be given that code number. And again, from beginning to end, even when we pay out our tips, it's all in cash. So there's no way to trace back who our tipsters are. And our call center, where the person that you're going to be giving the information to is in Canada. So if you've got a slick defense attorney that's trying to subpoena our records, because they're in Canada, there is no way to backtrack and figure out who our callers are. I mean, it's something we've got to do.
This is really thought out. This is really thought out. I remember maybe 3 to 5 years ago, you came on the show, you were extremely excited about how you were moving along with technology in terms of apps and things of that nature. When I first heard apps, oh, they're scaring me to death. But you guys really staying current. You know that people are living on their phones and things like that. How successful has that new technology getting into the cell phones, allowing people to be able to do things on the move, especially the younger generation. Has that been a success story?
Oh, totally. Within the last year or two, I would say 60% of the tips that we're getting
Really?
are either from the app or from the website. Like you said, people are on their phones constantly. And when they're out and about in the community, say they happen to see a bank robbery take place. Well, they don't want to get involved, but they've got their phone right there in their hand. They can immediately, you can take a picture of a license plate of a car. You can upload that discreetly from your phone, so no one around you is going to know that you just contacted Crime Stoppers, but you're going to know that you just did something good and something that hopefully can make a difference. And these tips are making a difference. We're talking homicides, we're talking armed robberies, drive-by shootings, child abuse cases, wanted fugitives, you name it. Our tipsters are making a difference. Hit and run cases. The tips span the gamut.
Right now, if somebody's sitting there with their phone, they want to download that app, tell them what to put into their phone.
It's the P3 Tips mobile app. It's a free app on both the Androids and on iPhones. It's just so easy. You put in your information, it immediately comes to us. We're talking within seconds. From the time that you hit send, it goes to us.
It's called P3 something.
P3 Tips.
So, but it's tied specifically to Southwest Florida Crime Stoppers?
It is, and so the logo for P3 Tips doesn't scream Crime Stoppers. So if somebody picks up your phone,
Gotcha.
they're not going to go, oh, so you're a narc, you know.
Got it.
So there's
I was like, why does it say crime?
So we keep it nondescript for a reason, because we don't want somebody to be sitting there, they put their phone down,
Gotcha.
and somebody's going, oh, okay, I see what you're about.
Well, y'all really think this stuff through, don't you? I want to go back to, I mentioned you've been on a lot of administrations of different sheriffs and chiefs and things like that. How do they partner, or how do they have input? Do they work closely with Crime Stoppers? Do they support Crime Stoppers? Do they see this as a magnificent thing for us to have in the community?
Yeah, I mean, our partnership with law enforcement, Crime Stoppers isn't successful unless we have a three-way partnership. It's got to be a partnership with the community to us and a partnership with law enforcement to us. So when we get in that tip, we know that whoever we send it to, whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that tip is going to be immediately acted upon. And we do work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all holidays. So if we get that tip in at 2 o'clock in the morning saying that John Doe, who's wanted for murder in Lee County, he's at this address right now, we're immediately going to have that dispatched out. So it's not like we're going to wait until 7 o'clock in the morning, because at 7 o'clock in the morning, John Doe may have left that address and he's hauled. So it's so important to us that people know that when they call in that tip, no matter what time of day or night, that tip's going to be immediately acted upon.
Now, one of the things I've noticed over the years in interviewing you, and they're always such great interviews, I find that you are pretty much saying the same thing in different ways all the time. And what that says to me is the more we message, the more people get it. You never know who's going to hear this, who's going to download that app, who's going to get that phone number. So you have to constantly, and society is constantly, new people coming into society. So you always are educating a whole new group of people. And there could be that one person that hears something, call Crime Stoppers, see some advertisement on it, and can change a safety procedure for a society in an instant, right?
Oh, absolutely, because you don't know when you reach people at different points in life. And maybe you hear about Crime Stoppers and it really doesn't resonate with you. But then all of a sudden you see a hit and run happen. Now you can get involved. Now there's something that you can do, and you're going to remember that
That's
P3
right.
Tips app. I just saw, I know the partial plate. It's, the first three letters of the plate of this, green Hyundai is, IHP. They can send that into us, and that immediate recognition that, okay, now's my moment. Now's my time to get involved. And people tell me all the time, you know what, I don't hang around people that are committing crimes, so I don't know anything about crimes being committed in our community or the people. But the people that are committing crimes in our community live in our community. They're going to the same grocery stores that you and I are going to. They go to the same restaurants that you and I are going to. So you never know when you're going to recognize somebody who's wanted that you can make a difference on, and you can call in that tip on.
Right. This reminds me, about my aquatics background as a swimming instructor. Of course, a part of being a swimming instructor is we have to know CPR and AED and all this. And we're constantly doing it over and over, saying the same thing over and over, telling people about it. And then at one time when somebody has to perform CPR, by them having gone over it, constantly reinforcing it, constantly hearing it, how many compressions, how many breaths, and then eventually when the time comes, it'll hit them. Let's just do this. Boom. Let's go to the money.
It always comes back to the money.
It's about the money. There's an opportunity to help society in terms of getting the bad guys off the street, but at the same time, you can get rewarded.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about it is that, you know, there are some people that will call and give tips just because it's the right thing to do, but most people want the money, and that's fine. That's what the money is there for. And it's important to know that it's not taxpayer dollars. We use bad guys' money, criminals' money. They have to pay a bunch of different fines. Part of that comes to Crime Stoppers. So we use bad guys' money to put more bad guys behind bars, so no tax dollars involved in that. So when you provide a tip, if that tip leads to an arrest, you're going to get a cash reward. Now, that could be from $100 up to $3,000. $3,000 would be for a homicide. It's just based on whatever the charges are, if it's a drug case, what's seized. So the reward amounts can range, but we give out about $150,000, $170,000 a year in reward money.
And they just have a number, and I think they can just go into any bank and get that money, right? Nobody, not based on name. You got a number or something like that?
Yeah, just based on, we never take anybody's name. So from the time they provide that tip to the time they pick up their reward in cash, they just use that code number. They go to a bank. We have a couple of different banks that we use, but they tell us where they want to pick it up at. We arrange for it, and then they can pick up their cash within a week.
Mm-hmm. If somebody crosses state lines or county lines or what have we, I'm trying to talk like I know about all this law stuff, but if they arrest them or get them outside of the Southwest Florida Crime Stoppers area, they still qualify for that money and all of that?
Absolutely, yeah. So even if they live somewhere else, because the power of social media is really strong. We put out a lot of information on social media. So somebody may be wanted here, but they're in Arkansas. So if we get a tip from somebody saying, hey, they're at this address in Little Rock, and we go ahead and the U.S. Marshals pick them up in Little Rock, we'll make sure that that person in Little Rock gets paid. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter where you are. We've got connections with banks and with other Crime Stopper programs to make that happen. And we've even had arrests from people that have been out of the country.
That's beautiful. Now, I notice if I go to your social media page, which I want you to give to people, don't give it yet, or if I go to your website and different things and I scroll down, I see faces, I see current events, I see somebody who just robbed the store. They may see that face. They could use that and say, hey, I know this person. Let me contact Crime Stoppers, because they need to go straight to that Crime Stoppers number in order to qualify for all other things we talked about in terms of money. So they can go to all these different ways of seeing faces. They don't have to just see it live. They may know that's my cousin. She used to date my whatever. Go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also want to throw in there that if you have information and you call 911, when you call 911, you are a known quantity. You can say you want to be anonymous, but at the end of the day, they can still trace back to you. So if your interest is that reward money, you need to call Crime Stoppers. That we are the only way that you're going to get that cash money. There are other ways to report crimes, but if your interest is the money, we're the number to call, 1-800-780-TIPS.
Gotcha. Well, Trish, it's been a pleasure having you here again today in your yellow.
And you're yellow.
Yeah, tried to match up. I'm looking like a Century 21 salesperson today. And looking forward to getting you back in the future, okay?
Good seeing you.
And I understand you're going to have a TV studio built soon. You may see Leap Hits Live there.
Absolutely.
Let's bump you out. As the saying goes on this particular show, Miami has the oranges, but Fort Myers got the juice. Oh, all right. And for those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those like Trish and all the fine people at Crime Stoppers of Southwest Florida who are doing it. We'll be right back.
Leap Hits Live is a Leap Hits Enterprise production.
Hello, everybody. This is Lee. I'm so glad that you watched that particular show. And if you enjoyed that show, we got other shows like that. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch Leap Hits Live on demand anytime. And also hit us up on all our social media platforms. Just type in Leap Hits Live. And there you go.